Welcome to a new knitting tutorial with me, Laura. It's been about 7 months since my last upload, so I do apologise, but I am super excited to actually start a new series, a new program of knitting stitches. Because just quickly, if you've got 2 minutes before we start this stitch, you can skip ahead if you want to, but I was very kindly gifted this amazing book. It was actually rescued from my mother-in-law's local church, and it's 1300 pattern stitches. So this book dates back to 1981, so it's super old, which basically almost the same age as me, so I'm super old. But I really thought it'd be really fun to actually go through this book together with you guys and actually share a lot of these stitches. So today we're starting with this beautiful stitch, which is absolutely perfect for beginners because all it uses is the knit stitch and the purl stitch. And it is called, if we bring it up here, I'm going to be naming it the same as in the book, so it may be known as something else other places in the world, but we're going to be calling it the grating stitch, which I keep calling it the gyrating stitch, don't know why. But it is called the grating stitch, so you can either quickly grab this and crack on with it, or you can watch this tutorial. So let's begin. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cast on some stitches. Now, if you're brand new to knitting and you don't know how to do the knit stitch or the purl stitch or how to cast on, then do check out my other tutorials on those techniques where I go really, really slow. My whole knitting channel is about beginner-friendly tutorials. So we're going to go a little bit faster just to crack on with this stitch, but we're going to create a little slip knot to begin, and I'm working with, just for this sample, I'm working with a super chunky, super bulky yarn, so it's a yarn weight of around 5 or 6, and with that I'm using some circular needles, so they're a bit easier to use on camera, but you can use straight needles if you prefer, and they're 6mm size. Okay, so I'm going to do the long tail cast on, which is going to be pretty fast when you see here, but I have done a tutorial in particular on the different types of casting on, but you want to cast on a unit of 8. So for this particular tutorial, I'm going to cast on 16 stitches onto my needle, and that's a unit of 2 times 8. So work to a unit of 8. Okay, so I've cast on a unit of 2 times 8, so I've got 16 stitches just for this little swatch. And actually, interestingly, the long tail cast on, according to my 1980s book here, is actually Italian, so I never knew that. I don't know if that's true or not, but random fact for you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work our first row. So this tutorial is designed to be really slow for beginners, so I do apologise if you are an avid knitter and you find this excruciatingly slow, but this is for beginners. So, and our very first row for the grating stitch is we're going to purl 1, then knit 7, and then you repeat that, you purl 1, knit 7. Okay, so purl 1, knit 7. So we start off with a purl stitch, and like I said, if you're not sure how to do a purl stitch, then do check out my tutorial that shows you really slowly how to do the purl stitch. So we purl 1 and then we're going to knit 7. A little trick when you knit is if you find your stitches tight, really push that right needle up before bringing off your stitch. That really helps. 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So we purled 1 and knit 7, and then we repeat that. So bring the yarn back to the front for a purl stitch, purl 1 and then knit 7. And I only end up doing that twice because I've only got a unit of 2 times 8. Okay, so that's your first row. Knitting on camera is a lot harder than crocheting on camera. Okay, then we're going to move on to our next row. And row 2 is the same as row 8, but we'll come back to row 8, so I'll remind you. So row 2, we're going to knit 1, purl 5, then knit 1, purl 1. And then repeat knit 1, purl 5, knit 1, purl 1. So we're going to knit the first stitch, So a normal knit stitch. Then we're going to purl 5. Let's bring that yarn forward, purl 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we purled 5, and then we do a knit 1, just 1 knit stitch, and then we do 1 purl stitch. Okay, and then we repeat that. So we go back to knit 1 stitch, and then we purl 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we finish knit 1, and then we purl 1. Okay, so that's your row 2. Okay, so our next row, can't really see much happening yet, a little bit of a pattern appearing there. Okay, so row 3 is the same as row 7, but we'll come back to row 7. This time for row 3, we're going to start off with knitting 2. We're going to knit 2, 1 and 2. So we knit 2, purl 1, so just purl 1 stitch. Then we knit 3, so knit 3 stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Then we purl 1, then we knit 1. So we purl 1, and then we knit 1. Okay, and then we're going to repeat that pattern. So we start off with knit 2, straight into another knit stitch. So knit 2, purl 1, we knit 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then we finish with a purl 1 and a knit 1. So purl 1 and knit 1. Okay. So if it's a little bit fast following the purl stitches and the knit stitch, then do check out my specific tutorials on those stitches, and then you'll know exactly what you're doing. Okay, so moving on to row 4, which is the same as row 6, but we'll come back to 6. We're going to purl 2 to begin with. So we're going to purl 2 to begin. So purl 2, 1 and 2. Then we're going to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. Okay, so we're going to knit 1, purl 1, and then knit 1. Okay, and then we end on purling 3. Okay, so purl 3. 1, 2, and 3. So then we repeat that pattern. So again, going straight into a purl stitch, we purl 2, 1 and 2. Then we do knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, and then we end on purling 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let's turn that over and have a look. And really start to see the beautiful stitch pattern happening. I really like this stitch, lovely. So row 5, we are going to knit 4, purl 1, knit 3. Okay, so knit 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So knit 4, purl 1, just one purl, and then we knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then we repeat that pattern. So knit 4 straight into a knit stitch, knit 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, we purl 1, and then we finish with knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it's the end of round 5. So we've got 3 more rows to do, which is actually a repeat of rows 2, 3, and 4, but backwards. So moving on to row 6. Row 6 is the same as row 4, but I don't expect you to remember what row 4 was. I'm getting tangled. So row 4, if you remember, is purl 2, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, then purl 3. So we go straight into a purl stitch. So we're going to purl 2, 1 and 2, then we knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. So knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, and then we purl 3. Let's purl 1, 2, and 3. So then we repeat that again. So we purl 2, 1, 2. We do knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. So knit 1. There's a fly buzzing around, do apologise. Purl 1, summer for you. Knit 1. And then we end on purl 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So moving on to row 7. Now row 7 is the same as row 3. And row 3 was started with knit 2. We knit 1, knit 2. We purl 1, then we knit 3, knit 1, 2, and 3. Then we purl 1, and then we knit 1. Okay. So we repeat that, knit 2, purl 1, knit 3, purl 1, knit 1. So we knit 2, 1 and 2. Then we purl 1, knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we end on a purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 and knit 1. Okay, so it should start looking like that. Then we move on to the last row, so row 8, and row 8 is the same as row 2. And row 2 was we knit 1, then we purl 5, so we purl 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we knit 1, purl 1. So knit 1, purl 1. Then we repeat that, so we knit 1. No, got to move my yarn to the right side. Knit 1, purl 5, purl 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we end on a knit 1, purl 1. So we knit 1 and then we purl 1. And that was our last row of our pattern, row 8. So we can see the first segment appearing, looks really beautiful. So what you would then do is repeat rows 1 to 8, so repeat all that again, and you would just keep doing that, rows 1 to 8 again and again and again, forever, however long that you want to make your project. So I'm going to do another 8 rows of those stitches and then come back and show you what it looks like. And there we go, I've just repeated those 8 rows again, and we've got another diamond segment like that. And this is what it looks like on the back. So it looks really lovely on the back as well. So yeah, you would just repeat those 8 rows, alternating purl stitches and knit stitches. So a really lovely beginner friendly stitch. And yeah, if you really enjoyed this tutorial and you'd like me to share more from this stitch book, then do subscribe and comment and share this video and let me know what you think. So there we go, that is the grating stitch, and I think it's great. Such a comedian. And I'll see you soon for some more knitting, crochet, crafting fun. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.